My name is Jay Farrell. I'm an architect here in Austin, and we're here today for the Heritage Society of Austin tour. There are a number of different styles that fall under the broader heading of mid-century modern, and this one and the Granger House, which is over on 16th Street, are ones that are very early in the period. They're early 1950s, and both of them have strong roots in the international style. They're a lot more severe than some of the other houses. They have flat roofs, very clean long lines, big banks of windows, and frankly for a lot of people they're too severe. Some of the other houses have low pitched roofs, big overhangs, and they're a little more inviting with a sense of hearth and home. But I think one thing we're hoping people will appreciate on the tour today is the scope of the different aspects of mid-century modern, and also the fact that these houses are very livable. In fact, in spite of the fact that some of these are rather severe looking, they're very comfortable inside, and they're small scale. Everybody's talking about downsizing today. They're very environmentally friendly in the sense that they don't have to be big. You don't have to do 10,000 square feet. And part of the reason that they're successful that way is that this style was one of the first in American domestic architecture that really celebrated open plans. Before, people were rather formal. There was a living room, there was a dining room, and you designed a room for a particular use. These rooms flow into each other, they're flexible. You can decide that you may want the dining over there, or when you have a bigger party, you just change it around. So it was more relaxed living. There was a different lifestyle going on where rather than front porches where people were waving at their neighbors, people sort of retreated to a private backyard, and barbecues and those things came to style. So in the house that we're in right now, which is the Duncan and Buck house here in Austin, built in 1951. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house, living room, dining room, and kitchen. The rooms were small. The current owners, when they bought the house, they have 2 children and needed more space and more openness. We opened up the kitchen to the dining room and living room and made it more communicative with those. We, in the living room, took the back wall over here beyond the fireplace. Used to end in this plane, and we took that and just pushed it out, and there'd been one small door to the back with a bank of casement windows, so we just made this all glass. Because of the expansion, we needed a beam up here, and that was decided to express that. We let that show by dropping the ceiling and then changed the floor material in the new part to reflect that was sort of a different space. And then to support it all, we use pipe columns that are used on the front in the carport. We had an additional space, redid other parts of the house, but in these houses, one wants to respect kind of the feel of the original and then deal with the issues like I just talked about to try and make sense of them so that they don't look like, how did that happen?
My name is Tom Hill, and I grew up next door. My parents and I moved here in 1949 at 3405 Clearview, and when we moved here, the street was not paved. It was about 52 or 53 when the streets were paved out here, and my mother talked my dad in after World War II, talked him into buying this lot out here, which was very unlike my mother, who was a very conservative person. And they built a very small house with a flat roof and wood siding with a carport on this end. And my dad was the last survivor of my parents, and he died in 2003, and we sold the house, and it was bought by a developer, like is often the case over here, and it was scraped off, and they built 2 townhouses in place of it. But it was a great neighborhood to grow up. There were lots of kids. The Duncan boys who lived here were, one was 2 years younger and the other one was about 4 years younger. Scott and Robert respectively. We had lots of good times, and we were close to Lake Austin and were able to walk or ride our bikes down to Kennelwood boat docks down there to fish a lot.
Hello, my name is McKee, Gene McKee, and officially is John Eugene McKee, or J. Eugene McKee. I was the architect and also the contractor that built this house, designed and built this house for Don and Nan Abel. Great folks. They collaborated with me in the design, and I think it's an original. I don't think there's another one like it. There have been very few changes made in the house that I can see, but it's been around 40 years since I was here. At any rate, it was a great, great joy to build a house for them. A tough lot, sloping quite a bit, and all that sort of thing. And they wanted to be able to look out the window to the south. So we put the living area in the center of the house, and the fireplace, and living areas or sleeping areas on either side, east and west. And that's about it. So what else do you want to know?
Are there unusual materials or?
Well, the unusual materials were the Tectum roof deck.
Okay.
That you can see is about 2.5 inches thick,
okay,
and spans between the beams. There was a continuous skylight. This has been changed to a series of skylights, but it was plastic on either side, a green plastic on either side of that A shape. But that's been changed because the plastic, of course, couldn't last that long. But the electrical, there's a low voltage wiring system, which allows you to have a number of switches for a single light fixture.
okay.
And that was pretty nice at the time. There are not too many custom designed, custom built houses anymore, except in the extremely expensive range. So this was moderately priced in a good location in town, and it worked very well for everybody. So I enjoyed it.
I'm Jeff Harper.
And I'm Mark Seeger.
Yeah, so I don't know, being on, well, changed our life? No. I mean,
We just had to clean up a lot. Get everything ready.
so it was interesting.
It was fun to celebrate the house with other people, especially like the night scenes.
Yeah.
They came over and they set up a camera in the back, and we were running around the house turning off lights, and then they did a fast forward of the whole thing so you could see the lights coming off and on and the different rooms.
Hello, my name is Sydney Rubin, and I own the A.D. Stenger house that was on the tour. And I love these modern houses because they are so open and because they reflect the period in which they were built, which is a period of great hope, community, respect for the environment. Many things that were good about the period are captured in the materials used in these houses and the way they are thought about and the way they're designed. In Austin, we've got lots and lots. We're blessed with lots of good mid-century architecture, but unhappily right now, in many of these neighborhoods, in Barton Hills, in Rollingwood, throughout the city, they're being torn down faster than we can keep up with them, faster than we can save them. And the lots that contain these little jewel boxes, these little puzzle boxes of houses that are so well made and so well designed are coming down, and in their place and also often surrounded by beautiful lots. They're coming down, and what's going up in their place are the biggest house that you can possibly fit into a lot of 2,500 square feet, with doors that when you shut the door, the windows in the back rattle, and that are really being put up for no other reason than to line the pocketbooks of the builders building them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's something very important worth saving here, and I would love to see the city of Austin get behind some kind of a program to be able to preserve what is really best about the architecture of the period.